roster? Thank you. I got Ren and Ace. Seattle, you got a roster? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Gillette Athletic Complex for the final game of Day 2 in the 2016 U.S. Youth Soccer National League showcase for girls. 17 under matchup between the team in royal blue out of Dallas, Texas, and the team in white out of Seattle, Washington. The royal team, the white team, and the royal team, as we've got a early start down in the left corner as the team in white will be the team from Seattle. The team in royal will be the team from Texas. As we will try to get situated here for the 17 and under matchup. My name is Alton Britt. You're viewing the Torbor Sports Network as they have done a great job in streaming live the games being played here at field number 1 in the showcase tournament for girls, which I'll tell you all about as we go along. Right now, I'm doing my best to get a roster for the Washington team, as I have absolutely no names. For Texas, though, we've got Colleen Anderson, we've got Riley Andrews, Ann Claire Blaylock, Melissa Blanchette, Madeline Bryant, Bailey Bilotas, Ashley Carter, Ayana Fairweather, also playing for the Texans, Ashley Carter, Grace Goodwin, Caitlin Harbin, Madison Humphrey, Jenna Kirk, Josephine Knight, Tara Sumer, Olivia Volpe, Kennedy Wainwright, and Kaylin Wright. Again, they're wearing royal blue with white trim. We understand a couple of their girls are particular about their nicknames, as we've got Texas with number 13, that's Ren. Number 19, that is Ace. Their real names, number 13, Melissa Blanchette, is Ren. And number 19 is Ann Claire Blaylock, who goes by Ace. So, we're working, as we say, to get a roster for the Seattle team, as we're just underway here from the complex at Gillette Athletic Complex in Wilson, North Carolina, about which I'll tell you as we go along. Right now, we've just started. We're in minute number 3, no score, as you watch it on the Torbor Sports Network. And the team out of Texas with Yokohama tires on the front of their jerseys. Now we have a roster for Washington. Boy, they got a big football game at the University of Washington tonight as they play the Colorado Buffaloes and try to stay in the mix of the top 4 for the national championship playoff. And we'll get those girls for you just as soon as we can. Chloe Chester, Erica Tingley, Isabel Kimball, Jennifer Huffman, Caitlin Wiley, Chappelle Gabrielle, Dayton Kia, Jaden Edwards, Peyton Manano, Bryn Matheson, Kylie Hansen, along with Mackenzie Leach, Claire Madden, Madison Hinkle, Molly Carden, Esperanza Soriano Sanchez, Anna Whitaker, Francesca Shepard, and Hail Huta. As we once again, no score, 4 minutes into this 17 and under soccer matchup between these two showcase powerhouse teams. Representing Seattle, Washington in white and Dallas, Texas in blue. The Solar Chelsea Bates team out of Dallas, North Texas, the Greater Seattle Surf team out of the Seattle, Washington area. As again, we're in our 5th minute. This is the 4th game of the day at field number 1. The second 17 and under game. We've had a previous 17 and under game and 2 16 and under games. One just completed, ended in a 1-1 tie. 16 and under battle between New York out of Long Island and the Los Angeles area, or rather the team from Oklahoma was beaten 2-0. Earlier, we had a 1-1 tie between New York and Los Angeles. As we are just underway, 6 minutes in, no score in the contest. Again, this is Wilson, North Carolina, where the tournament is being played for the 8th consecutive year. 8 years out of its 10-year-old lifespan. Wilson is a community of about 50,000, some 45 miles east of the capital city of Raleigh, about 100 miles west of the Atlantic Ocean. In perspective, we're 120 miles east of Greensboro, 150 miles east of Winston-Salem. Charlotte, North Carolina's largest city, is about 200 miles away to the southwest, while the mountains begin along the Asheville border, Asheville about 300 miles from here. And we're lucky. They call us Variety Vacation Land, as we're about 3.5 hours from the mountains and a couple hours away from the Atlantic Ocean. Of course, Washington, they've come a long way, all the way down from Seattle, to do battle against these girls from Dallas, Texas. Dallas wearing white shin guards, no shin guards apparent for the girls, or rather Seattle wearing white shin guards, and Seattle doing without the shin guards, just in the white tops. Seattle actually with the shin guards. I'm trying to get situated here as this game started all of a sudden, and I didn't have any rosters and trying to get acclimated as we've got two of the best in the business going at each other. In Seattle, they're worried about this game. They're also worried a lot about the Huskies. The University of Washington with a gigantic game tonight against the Colorado Buffaloes to retain their position in the top 4 in college football to join Clemson, Ohio State, and Alabama in a 14 playoff for the national championship. Of course, I'm sitting here in my NC State garb. NC State, the first school that Seattle Seahawk quarterback Russell Wilson attended in college before transferring for his final year at the University of Wisconsin. But we think of Russell as a Wolfpacker. Of course, in the NFL introductions, he always says he's from a pack of Badgers, meaning the Wolfpack and the Wisconsin Badgers. But Russell was with us for 3 years and Wisconsin for only 1. Russell Wilson, still can't believe they didn't score any more points than they did last week against the Buccaneers, also earlier against Denver, as Seattle in a fight for that Western Division title in the NFL. Right now, Seattle downfield quickly, a player falls, and quickly up, just like a jack in the box. I've said that all tournament long. These girls, being as young as they are and as athletic as they are, certainly no stranger to the turf. They don't mind hitting it and usually they're back just as quick as they went down. No score in the contest. We're 9 minutes in. The team out of Greater Seattle, the Surf, and of course the Solar Chelsea 00 Bates team out of North Texas, Dallas to be exact. Dallas will now defend against the direct kick downfield. It crosses over to the left, and coming out of the scrum with it, the young ladies wearing royal blue, representing the Dallas area, the Oklahoma tire dealership, tire maker rather, on the front of their royal blue jerseys. I get mixed up because I'm thinking Seattle should be in the Seahawk blue, but they're not. Seattle's in the white, and no score in the match. 10 minutes in. With the ball now, Dallas in the center. They work it to the back line. We're near the center circle, the middle of the pitch. Dallas will send it goalward. Dallas on the attack. No score in the match as yet. Dallas probably has had a little bit better of the proceedings thus far, but we're early on. Dallas retains possession. Dallas, number 24, will kick it away as we've got the Seattle team, their lineup, Mackenzie Leach, Claire Madden, Molly Carden, Madison Hinkle, Esperana Soriano Sanchez, Anna Whitaker, Francesca Shepard, Hael Huda. And if I mispronounce any of these names, I apologize, as not only am I fairly new to soccer, but I'm entirely new to all these girls from long ways away from Wilson, North Carolina. I'm a former high school English teacher, but still these names get the better of me sometimes, as do the various terminologies used in this fast-paced game of soccer. I'm normally a football, basketball, baseball play-by-play man, but in an effort to help out, I'm agreed to call this soccer tournament for the Torbo Sports Network and my friend Chase, and I'm doing the best I can. Right now, we're in our 12th minute. First half, no score in the contest. We've got the team from Solar Chelsea Bates out of North Texas, Dallas, against the Greater Seattle Surf out of Seattle, Washington. And right now, both teams feeling each other out. Not many shots on goal yet, but Dallas threatens to steal by Seattle. Seattle will send it back the other way, and it's intercepted again by Dallas. Dallas dribbling the ball toward the middle of the court, middle of the field rather, the middle of the pitch. I told you I was new to soccer. Right now, Dallas with a shot attempt, and it's just over the right side of the net. It's no good, but the first legitimate shot attempt of the match is sent goalward, although wide, by Madison Humphrey. And the ball will belong to the Washington team as the flag is out across the way, and the goalie will kick it to the right of her goal box. Downfield it goes. Seattle trying to send it far to my right, while Dallas attempts to send it to the goal at my left. Again, I'm Alton Britt. This is the Torbo Sports Network. We're in Wilson, North Carolina. Wilson used to be known as the world's greatest bright belt tobacco market, but tobacco's been on the wane lately, as you well know, and Wilson perhaps known best now for its delicious barbecue, its friendly people, its soccer aficionados and facilities, and some excellent football teams on the high school level, plus our college, Barton College, won the NCAA Division II National Basketball Championship held in Springfield, Massachusetts, home of basketball, Naismith Hall of Fame in Springfield. They won that in 2007. Beating in come-from-behind fashion, three great teams in a row, Grand Valley State out of Michigan went down to an Anthony Atkinson jumper at the buzzer. And Cal State San Bernardino went down to an Anthony Atkinson free throw at the end of the game. And then Barton rallied from 7 points down with 45 seconds left and won the championship game against the team from Winona State University out of Minnesota. Down 7 with 45 seconds to play, the Bulldogs of Barton got a layup from Anthony Atkinson. In essence, Atkinson hit the final winning bucket in all three contests. If that name's familiar, he's known as Ant on the circuit with the Maine Harlem Globetrotter team, as Anthony bypassed in the NBA draft, cast his lot with the Globetrotters, and I believe he told me a couple of weeks ago, last time I saw him, he'd been to 97 countries. As we've got a shot and into the net, and Washington draws first blood as the shot comes in the 15th minute of play, and wide on the right, the shot put in by the young ladies representing the Greater Seattle Surf, and a beautiful shot. We'll get the name of that scoring player in just a moment. Seattle with the early lead, 1-0 over the team from Dallas, Texas. Texas trying to answer the call at the other end as they find themselves trailing due to a long Seattle goal. Again, we'll get the name of that goal scorer just as quickly as we can, as Dallas shoots a ball goalward in an attempt to tie, but it's blocked away by Seattle, and Seattle sends it the other way. Seattle will turn it over to Texas at midline, and of course you're watching it as there are many turns of the ball in soccer, as fall downs and interceptions and bumps and bruises, there are many. These girls certainly among the best, or else they wouldn't be here, as we've got the score made by Seattle's number 16 at the 16-minute mark. And number 16 for Seattle, will search our roster and tell you that it is Kaylin Wiley. Wiley with the first goal of the game. Kaylee Wiley scored from just to the left of the net at minute 16 of this contest. And it's 1-0 in favor of the Greater Seattle Surf, as Texas attempts to tie things up. A shot right at the goal misses and is blocked away by the Seattle goalkeeper, and we'll go back the other way with it. The action frantic, fast and furious, as it has been since the first game started yesterday at 10 o'clock. This is the 8th game in 2 days on field number 1 here at the Gillette Athletic Complex. Gillette is named, of course, in honor of Bert Gillette, who was the longtime head of the recreation department here in Wilson, as Dallas on the left side tries a shot wide left, no good, and the score remains 1-0. As a beautiful day here in Wilson. It's been a little on the chilly side, and as nightfall approaches, of course, in Washington, it's while it's 4:20 here, it's only 1:20 in Washington, and I realize that, and only 3:20 in Dallas. Perhaps you're not as cold as we are, but we're wrapped up here under the canopy in the middle. To our left, the canopy where the Texas team is, and to our right, the canopy where the Seattle team is, as we've got our first substitution fixing to enter the game, and that's number 3 for the Washington team. And we'll look on the roster real quickly and tell you that number 3 belongs to Esperanza Soriano Sanchez. So Soriano Sanchez waits to become the first sub in the ball game, and he'll replace Seattle player going off to our right. Her long ponytail blocks her number, but I believe that's number 16. 16 leaves as Soriano Sanchez enters the contest. Number 16 being Kaylin Wiley, the young lady who scored that goal. Callan Wiley, I believe is her name. Callan, Kallin. Wiley scored the goal at the 16-minute mark, and the score remains 1-0 in favor of the Greater Seattle Surf. Washington readying for that big football game tonight against the Buffaloes of Colorado. I've liked Washington since I saw them early. I really like their quarterback. I believe his name is Vaughn. And, of course, Coach Peterson had long-time success at Boise State before going to Seattle, and he's retained that successful mood up in the Seattle area with the Huskies. Of course, Mike Leach of air attack fame coaches at Washington State, but they were beaten pretty soundly a few weeks back by the Cougars. As, believe it or not, we watch West Coast football here on the East Coast as well. In fact, I'm looking forward to two games tonight as a shot is blocked away by the goalie for Seattle. A nice attempt by Dallas. Dallas is threatened twice but come up empty as Seattle leads it 1-0. The goal at the 16-minute mark by Callan Wiley. Two games I'm referring to for the Mid-American Championship. It'll be Ohio University playing unbeaten Western Michigan. And, of course, Colorado goes up against the Washington Huskies, as both games will be shown on TV in our area. So all you Washington fans listening can certainly look forward to that ball game. And the folks in Texas, what can I say? Your Dallas Cowboys have really started off well. Dallas, longtime nemesis of my team, the Washington Redskins, and Washington trying to play their way into a situation where perhaps they can get the wild card, as Dallas is the Cowboys running away with the Eastern Division in the National Football League. Of course, our home state team, the Carolina Panthers, while they lost only one game prior to the Super Bowl loss last year against Denver, they're experiencing some rough luck this year, as they have just not played a good brand of football thus far. And, of course, injuries have played a significant role, as injuries do every year in all brands of sports, particularly the National Football League, as the young ladies from Texas and Washington contest for that ball at the center circle here on the pitch at Gillette. We're in the 22nd minute, 1-0 in favor of Greater Seattle, as the ball worked downfield toward the goal, and it's stopped by the Texas team. And Seattle's shot from out on the right side goes awry. Score remains 1-0. Dallas will pass it on the left side. Texas downfield toward the goal. And hustling a Seattle player will kick it to the corner out of harm's way. Dallas regains possession. Dallas has threatened, just not been able to get it in. Right now, though, Dallas having a tough time getting a shot on goal, and back it goes the other way. Seattle ahead 1-0 in the 23rd minute here in Wilson, North Carolina, as the ball worked toward the goal, and Dallas prevents it from going in to go further down in the match. Already the Texas team down 1-0 due to a goal by Wiley at the 16-minute mark. Downfield, a nice header by Washington and a retrieval by the Dallas team. Again, I promise you I'd tell you some more information about this U.S. Youth Soccer National League. For example, who are the teams? The U.S. Youth Soccer National League features the top teams in the country who earned their place in the league via either success in their respective U.S. Youth Soccer Regional Championships, as the ball is worked down close to the goal, but no goal for the Washington team as the Texas goalie comes out to make the stop. Or having success in their respective U.S. Youth Soccer Regional Leagues, or having a top finish in last year's National League, as we've got a sub getting ready to come in for the Texas Soccer Club, and we'll get that number for you as soon as we can on the Adidas jersey with the Yokohama on the front. Again, the ponytail prevents our seeing very well, but now we see it's Bailey by Lotus for the Texas team, as Washington will threaten once again. Down deep, sharp from the right of the goal, will go behind the goal, no good. And the score remains in the 25th minute, 1-0 in favor of Greater Seattle. As a couple of subs now, also in for the Texas team, number 12, Jenna Kirk. Jenna Kirk will come in as Dallas trails Seattle by 1-0 score. Coming in for the Seattle team, number 19, as I search over the late arriving roster to find out that it's Bryn Matheson, and she goes into the match. She's got a 3.8 GA. I think the thing that has impressed me probably as much or more than the actual playing ability of these participants has been the high GPA of every girl playing. I mean, the lowest GPA I've seen listed is 3.0. And most of the GPAs have been in the high threes or the low to mid fours. And I'm telling you, when you've got 128 teams, of course, we've only seen 16. There are 128 teams in this tournament representing 5 age groups. And I'm sure that each one has a very high grade point average, as Dallas, the Texas team, now ready to send on 3 reserves into the match. And we'll get those numbers as quickly as we can. And 1-0 is the score in favor of Greater Seattle. As the Texas Ball Club, they've had a couple of good chances to score, but haven't been able to cash in as yet in this 17 and under soccer match. Right now, the girls have signed in for Texas. We've got number 4, Colleen Anderson. Number 23 will enter the match. And as we search the roster, we find out her name is Caitlin Harbin. And also, number 22 will enter play. Her name is Riley Andrews. And my name is Alton Britt. You're viewing the proceedings on the Torbor Sports Network. As we are in our 27th minute of play, as we've got a 90-minute match scheduled, 2 45-minute halves, and an early lead standing up thus far for the team from Seattle, Washington. A goal at the 16-minute mark by Kalyn Wiley. And the 1-0 score as the subs now will enter the contest for the Dallas, Texas Ball Club. Down to my right, the team from Washington. To my left, the team from Texas. And once again, I'll say the officials have just done a splendid job in all regards during each of these tournament games. Of course, when you've got the best soccer players, you expect the best officials, and I haven't seen anything to change my way of thinking thus far. They have been really good. Very few discrepancies between coaches and officials, and what few there were quickly stymied and quelled down by the officiating crew, who let it be known that they were in charge of these matches. And certainly they, along with the spectators, have been treated to a very high level of soccer activity. Right now, still 1-0 in favor of Greater Seattle. Texas on the offensive, moving downfield, though. Texas looking to tie things up at the 9-minute mark. Can't get inside that tough Seattle defense. Seattle once again knocks it away. Seattle now will try to move the ball downfield and add to their 1-0 advantage, but it goes out of bounds. Last hit by a player from Texas. You might be wondering, what are these players or what are these teams playing for? The top 4 teams in each National League age group earn an automatic bid to the 2017 U.S. Youth Soccer National Championships, which, by the way, are the oldest and most prestigious youth soccer championships in the country. And the top finishers in the 15 and under, 16 under, and 17 and under age groups earn a place in next season's National League. So the National League, the U.S. Youth Soccer Association, although it's only in its 10th year, has certainly made a big splash toward youth involvement in this great game of soccer. By participation, the most popular game in the world, as more people play the game of soccer than any other sport. Of course, some people call it football across the ocean, and it originated as football. Of course, here in the United States, football is like the NFL, the collegiate ranks. We more or less call it soccer, but football is appropriate as Seattle once again threatens to score down deep, but can't get in. And we'll go back the other way as the score remains 1-0 in favor of Greater Seattle. As, of course, in soccer, you're only allowed to touch the ball with your feet and any part of your body other than your hands or arms. As we see just in that case, a chest ball played by the Seattle team down the right side. And Seattle still attacking deep on the right side, sends a shot. Does Seattle goalward, no good, knocked away. Back the other way toward the Texas goal, as Seattle has had the majority of the playing time. Another shot and a beautiful save, but it goes in off the hands of the goalie, and that score comes in the 31st minute, and Seattle now with a 2-0 lead. And again, that action happened way away across the field from me, and we'll let you know who the person scoring the goal was in just a moment, as the official at the scorer's tent will write down the number of that player. And that was Seattle player number, is that 30? 31. 17. Well, I was close. Ha! Number 17 scores for Seattle, a 2-0 game. And we'll look up on that Seattle roster. Number 17, as again, the Seattle team in scoring position downfield, as I've been down to pick up my roster, and Seattle again attacking the net, but this time knocked away by the Texas team. Number 17 for Seattle is, we'll find her in just a moment. Number 17 is Jacqueline Edwards. Jacqueline Edwards scores the second goal for Greater Seattle. Jacqueline Edwards on the score. So she and Wiley, the two goal scorers thus far, Edwards and Wiley have goals to send Seattle up by a 2-0 score in this soccer matchup. As we've got another couple of Seattle substitutes ready to enter the fray. And downfield, Seattle attacks the net once again. Number 11 going in for Seattle. And we'll get her name for you just as quickly as we can. Seattle living in the scoring zone, 11 and 27. 11 is Gabrielle Chappelle, and number 27 for the team from Washington is Jennifer Huffman. So Huffman, along with Chappelle, set to check in for the Washington team in white with royal blue numerals and royal blue shorts. against the all royal blue and white of North Texas. 2-0, the score. Dallas with the lead. We are in minute 34. Of course, we play 2 45-minute halves here in this Girls Showcase tournament. Right now, the team from Texas attempting to get on the scoreboard, but Dallas knocks it back the other way. Man, we have seen some tight defensive action from just about every team here. As obviously, as the old saying goes, points draw spectators and defense wins championships. And defense certainly has been the name of the game, especially for those teams on the victorious sides in these games that we've watched. And this is number 8 for us in the 2 days of action here at the Gillette Athletic Complex. We are in minute 35 of a 2-0 game. It's Greater Seattle over Solar Chelsea Bates of Dallas. As the majority of possession time certainly belongs to the team from Washington. This is a 17 and under matchup featuring these two premier soccer outfits. Now, you talk about college exposure. Many of these girls have already committed to play for their chosen colleges, but for those that haven't committed, many will commit this weekend. The college coaches are everywhere. Hundreds of college coaches attend each National League weekend, and they say that the level of the competition makes it a top recruiting trip each year as the players get better and better. And we've got a girl fixing to come in, number 14, for the Washington team. And again, we'll search their roster as they've got a very dignified-looking roster, but it's hard to find the players as they are not listed one after the other. We've got Kelly Hansen. Kelly, with a 4.0 grade point average, will enter the fray in just a moment. Right now, the score remains 2-0 in minute 37. As this is the fourth game of the day at the Gillette Athletic Complex, I'm Alton Britt, and you're viewing the proceedings on the Torber Sports Network. And what a great job these guys do in streaming the live soccer action. Also, softball, baseball, and basketball, as well as the Torber Sports Network, an upcoming entity in the world of sports television, dominated right now by the likes of ESPN, but you'll be hearing more and more from the Torber Sports Network as time goes along. Washington still in attack mode. Washington by far with the most time of possession, as we've got a medical problem on the Seattle side. Now the young lady says, I'm not going to the medical tent. I'm okay. As it's, I'll just wipe my knee off and get back into fray. I don't need to go to the medical tent. I need to go back into the game. That's what she tells her coach anyway. Right now, the ball turns over, possession. It belongs to the team from North Texas. Down 2-0, and the ball downfield. Once again, two of the Texas players, number 13 goes by Wren. Number 19 likes to be called Ace. And they are members of the girls' team. Number 13, her real name is Melissa Blanchett. And number 19, her name is, I believe, as we've got another goal scored. While I was looking down on the roster, the Texans fall behind 3-0 as the goal is scored by number 14 of the Washington team. And, man, I tell you what, just look away from the action just for a second. That's Kelly Hansen, the young lady who just entered the contest. So Kelly wasn't in there hardly a minute before she added to the Washington lead. It's 3-0, and looking up number 19 for the Texas team, we find out that number 19 is Ann Claire Blaylock. Ann Claire Blaylock is ace, and Melissa Blanchett is Wren. But they haven't had much to shout about, as most of the action has belonged to the team out of the greater Seattle area. In the 38th minute, that team leads by a 3-0 score as two more substitutions get set to take the field for the Seattle Soccer Club, as they've subbed liberally here in the first half of play and mounting that 3-0 lead. Hanson, the young lady who scored that last goal, had just come into the ball game, as Hanson will join Wiley and Edwards as goal scorers for the Greater Seattle Surf. At the 39-minute mark, we've got more subs for the Surf, as number 28, that's Peyton Manalo, will join the fray. And the clock now, we are in the 40th minute. A 3-0 lead as a deliberate whiff and then a follow kick by Dallas fools nobody. And coming away with the ball, Washington had it briefly, but Dallas gets it back. Dallas has got some work to do to get back into the match, as the Texans trail the Californians by a 3-0 score. Right now, we are in our 41st minute of action in the first half here at the Gillette Athletic Complex in Wilson, North Carolina, as the ball still in the Washington scoring zone. Washington with goals from Wiley at the 16-minute mark, and Edwards at the 31-minute mark, and then Hanson at the 36-minute mark. She made it 3-0. And Washington on the attack, although a speedy Texas player down the left side is going to have a shot at the goal, but it's knocked away by this tight defensive club representing Greater Seattle. Time winding down toward the end of the first half of play, approaching the 42nd minute, as Dallas now with a shot from the right side goes outside the box and corralled by the goalie for Washington. So Washington, their defense has been airtight, and their offense has been somewhat prolific in producing thus far what is a 3-0 score. Downfield, Washington tries to add to that total, but the ball's intercepted by Texas, now restolen by Washington. Washington attacking down to our right in the 42nd minute, as the ball is kicked out of bounds, last touched by the Texas club, and it'll be a Washington ball. Deep in the scoring zone on the outside on the left, the team from Greater Seattle, already ahead 3-0, looks more, as the coach for Seattle yells instructions to his players. A shot's on the way and caught, intercepted by the goalie for the Texas team. Back the other way, Texas trying their best to get on the scoreboard, but this tight Washington defense thus far has been equal to the task of stopping them. Right now, the ball being tossed around by the Seattle club in the offensive zone. Seattle looking for another shot on goal, and good defense that time by North Texas. And we'll send the ball to the far side where Washington once again charges toward the net, but Texas intercepts and comes back the other way. At the 43rd minute mark, it's 3-0 in favor of Greater Seattle. And Washington, with the preponderance of time of possession on their side, will work the ball toward the goal again. Washington will lose possession, however, to the Texans. They've played hard, has the team from North Texas, but they've just not been able to overcome a really, really tight Seattle defense. Right now, Washington works the ball toward the middle of the field and trying to get a shot, but again, that Washington defense just won't let them in. At the 44th minute of the first half, 3-0 in favor of Greater Seattle. Seattle attacks again as the clock down now to the 44th minute and less than a minute remaining in this first half. A first half that's been dominated by the Greater Seattle Surf. Goals from Wiley, Edwards, and Hanson have given the Seattle club a 3-0 lead. Goals at 16, 31, and 36 of the first half as Washington shows they are a formidable team. Dallas, they've hustled their rear ends off. They've just not been able to get that close to the goal, except for a couple of chances early on. And now they do score. Another score for the Washington team. This one coming in the 44th minute, and the score made by number 14 again. That's Hanson. That's 2 goals for her, and 4 total for the team from Seattle. As in the 44th minute, Hanson scores again. Hanson, as the first half closes here at Gillette Athletic Park, the team representing Greater Seattle, the Surf, 4, and the team from Solar Chelsea Bates, North Texas in Dallas, nothing. 4-0, halftime score in favor of the Seattle Surf. We'll be back with the second half of action right after this.
Seconds, huh? Yeah, you know I was going to come say something to you about that. 5 seconds. No,
I was.
I was like, dang, why can't you 15 minutes? Yeah.
You know what?
That game was a bit tougher, but
And that's I need Garrison too.
Well, she literally scored right as the 45 was hitting, so when I clicked 1, I was like, oh crap.
45, yeah.
I mean, did I do a bad job last night? It was a lot more intense, but
I'm talking about this one.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys are doing a great job. Just keep it up.
Too much focus on that one. 45:05. I know, exactly. That's what I said. 5 seconds? Really?
You know what, guys?
Game today. I was going to go a minute, but I was like, 4-0.
Yeah.
Nah, what's it going to do?
What's the dinner spot look like around here?
I got you. You got a break. Wait, are you playing one?
I'm looking strictly
That will make tomorrow.
Okay, so there's Brewmaster, there's Pups, there's, I think Quentin's plays actually. There's Daniel, there is El
Billy,
Cap.
Bob's, Joe's Barbecue.
There's Ruby Tuesday, there's Olive Garden, there's Texas Steakhouse,
Tapatillo.
El Tapatio, there's San Jose,
Very good food though.
there's
Very
Buffalo
good
Wild
food.
Wings.
Very good.
Yeah, it's really good. Buffalo Wild Wings.
It's
El
amazing
Cap.
food. It's the first Mexican restaurant, so they serve tacos and flour tortilla.
Yeah.
I never saw that.
Oh my gosh. So my boyfriend lives in Texas, and they
Oh,
like
Texas.
homemade.
Oh, we're talking about
They
different food.
homemade their
Texas is amazing
tortillas.
for Mexican food.
He is like obsessed. He's obsessed with their Mexican food. Like apparently.
In Texas?
Yeah.
Whatever.
He loves
I
their
was in
tacos.
Conroe last week and then that food.
In Houston, they're good.
Cool, man.
Tapatillo is so good. It's really good. Really, really good.
Wait, what kind of food are you wanting? Like, tell me what you want. Mexican is really good.
I'll do that for night.
And they have good
So about the movie.
Apparently.
Call it in.
I'm gonna call it in. And
Call
then
it
you
in.
can
They have a
start.
drive-through there.
Oh, they have drive.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Yeah, my wife was
I'm
Like
gonna order
go
those
like
tacos.
go like you're going towards Cookout, but then take like it's like a weird. It's like the opposite way of the Cookout drive-through. So like Cookout's drive-through
Yeah.
comes around this way, but El Tap comes that way.
Okay. Man, this looks like someone spent a lot of time with it.
But call them before you leave here, and it'll be ready.
Can you find the number? If you don't mind.
Gotcha. Have them on speed dial so if I can find my phone.
I like it because it has the horizontal one, so that you can really get into the knot real slow.
It's painful.
So mine are not like. You look good. That one looks.
Yeah, yours in the case, right? On the front side. I used it yesterday. I can put it. Oh, that's different then.
All right. Give me Do you have a little sheet of paper? Wait. I'll give you a note.
You want my business card?
Yeah, so you can give me some discounted flights. See, that's a good trade. I'll give you the LTAP phone number, and you can
Really?
you can get me discounted
You're gonna
flights
give me
to
a phone
Texas.
number for a restaurant, and I'm gonna give you a free flight.
Hey, and I got you snacks delivered. I've been an awesome scorekeeper. I'm emailing you. Like, hey, friend, fly to Texas. Help me out. I have so many clothes on. When I go to write, I can't because I'm so far away from the paper.
What is that movie with the little boy? Like the
The
90s?
Christmas Story.
Is it right?
Yeah, he says I can't move my arm.
Going to school.
And it like clicks, so you can angle where the spray goes. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get me a holster for college hoops. He was letting us use the spray at the Charlotte United tournament. Was he? Yeah.
Who?
Bradley.
They say it was good. Like,
Yeah. Oh.
it was
Yeah.
good, like,
Corey, I
2
wouldn't
weeks
waste your
to take.
time going. I mean, I like Bradley, but it's not like if you're looking for quality soccer.
I was
it's
doing
not
it for a
there.
favor for
Yeah.
Lou Friedman. Ring a bell? He's out of the hot what's he selling? He was trying to help out Kevin Broadley last weekend.
Yeah.
For what tournament?
Not crazy soccer. Yeah, it's
For
not.
a tournament?
Should I put my email up there so you can send me?
I just didn't. I mean, I was trying to, lose.
Well,
my
you can
time.
put your
He's
phone
like,
number on there.
He's,
I was about to say, let me text me.
Apparently that's
Text.
the camera stays live at halftime, so I just learned. So yeah.
It does.
My wife just texted.
No way.
yeah, he's in the
It's
picture
live right
here.
there. Yeah. She was like, put on that chapstick. It's like, okay.
He said what?
She was like, you put on that chapstick. That was
Yeah. Look at that face. I don't know what.
Yeah, you can't see in the tent. You just see the sides.
That's so weird. Put on your chapstick. I would be like,
Well, because I was putting on. She's watching the game.
oh, that's so sweet. She watches you work.
Make sure I'm not out partying doing something.
You watch him
stupid.
work
Yeah,
too.
that's
That's what she's really
That's
doing. Yeah.
the real reason,
You're
right?
going where? I want video proof.
You're kidding.
I don't believe you're going away 4 hours to go rip soccer.
Woo! Sales, and more sales.
Working hard.
All right.
Hardly working.
Actually, that's on the camera too.
Yep.
See? I got an email from Southwest.
Okay.
No! That's what I'm saying. They always say,
Yep. Look. Look at
Discounted
the live.
flights.
Look at the live feed.
wait,
Yeah.
I want to see it.
Yeah, you can just
Yeah.
see. Yeah.
My phone's a little crap.
It's slightly delayed, but
Yeah.
A little crack? What in the crap?
Little girl.
Wait, is this on YouTube?
yeah, it's YouTube Live.
Life.
Dude,
But it's delayed like
can you,
a minute
That's ridiculous.
Why is
You
it
did not
ridiculous?
crack your finger.
Be careful.
You ready to get out? That's what that look is.
It's,
He's like,
oh, you know what?
I don't know.
The Southwest is very strong right now because American Airlines with the merging is still. But once the merging is completely done,
Yeah, but see what I was going to
everybody's
say
gonna scare.
is they
Right now
always.
right now we are in the top of complaints. You know, like back missing, flight missing. It was so mistake, but it was a mess.
But Southwest always sends me like things, and they'll say like
Yeah, because
book now,
Southwest know,
and
you know,
you'll
they
get.
got like a flights to California for $75. Like that, you know. Yeah, Southwest is just crazy right now.
Yeah, but guess what? They
Like,
never
those are like
ever
those are like a
Just
week
trying to
before
undercut.
fly out
Ever.
on
Yeah,
news stuff.
yeah.
have
You just
flights
Yeah,
to Houston for under $157.
Yeah.
That is their cheapest flight to
Yeah.
Houston,
Right here.
and
Thank
it's
you so much.
annoying.
No problem.
I'm a Delta guy, so
Are you?
that's where I fly with.
All right, I'm expecting discounts now.
I don't know about that, but we'll try.
Delta gave me the best credit card deal.
Never give you more money? Yeah.
I can't wait to be at home in the heat. Yes, can't wait.
And you know, I love cold, but I don't. It's so weird because I don't like cold like this cold. But I like getting in my house or in my room, in a hotel room, and putting on like 30 degrees, like freezing the air, and getting on to.
I can't stand to be like out here, but at home I cannot sleep without a fan, and my air conditioner has to be on. It is
El
the
Tapatio.
weirdest thing. El Tapatio.
Actually, you should order for me
I don't know its lunch.
3 tacos. Order of 3 tacos by what time?
Just order it when you leave.
Yeah, because it's 10 minutes from here, right?
Yeah.
If they got ready in 10 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna trust it. What else we have for me?
Halftime score 4-0 in favor of Greater Seattle Surf over the team from Solar Chelsea Bates Dallas. North Texas, Dallas to be specific, as Dallas now will have the opening possession and try to get on the scoreboard, but that Seattle defense has been tough all game long. Seattle with first half goals at the 16-minute mark, 31-minute mark, 36-minute mark, and 44-minute mark. 2 goals by Henson, 1 by Wiley, 1 by Edwards. They have given the team from the Seattle Surf a 4-0 lead. Things looking good now for Seattle. Texas, though, they had a nice team meeting at the halftime break, and they have come out really fired up. Whether that's enough to get them to the scoring zone against this tough Seattle team remains to be seen. Once again, my name is Alton Britt, and you're viewing the Showcase Girls Tournament from the National League, USU Soccer, out of Wilson, North Carolina. We're in the 17 and under age bracket. There are 27 states represented in this particular tournament. Several states have more than one entry, most notably Washington, California, Texas, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York. And right now, the girls with the white tops have the better of the proceedings as they lead does Seattle by a 4-0 score. Seattle trying to get the ball back from Texas and back into the scoring zone down to our left. this half, but the girls from Texas, as we said, they are fired up. And the ball will go out of bounds on the right side. It'll belong to the ladies in royal blue. Royal blue meaning the young ladies from the Dallas area. They're wearing cowboy blue, which is a royal type blue. You don't see the Cowboys wearing those jerseys many times. And the Texans have a shot on goal, but once again, they are denied by outstanding play from that Seattle goalie. You're watching the showcase tournament for girls, 17 and under division, as Hanson now races a Texas player for the ball. Hanson comes out on top. Hanson, the leading scorer, she's got 2 for the Seattle club, and she'll carry it across the midpoint line. You're watching the U.S. Youth Soccer National League for Girls Showcase Tournament. Again, the U.S. Youth Soccer National League features the top teams in the country who earn their place in the league via either success in their respective U.S. Youth Soccer Regional Championships or success in their respective U.S. Youth Soccer Regional Leagues or a top finish in last year's National League. Safe to say, I think, that all of these girls, all of these teams, are excellent practitioners of the sport of soccer. Soccer being, if you judge by the number of participants, the most popular sport on the planet, as more people across the world play this sport than any other sport. Right now, 4-1 lead as Texas finally gets on the board. And I told you the Texas girls were fired up, and it's 4-1 as we will attempt to get the score as Texas scores in the 48th minute. 48th minute, Texas on the board, a goal scored, and we'll find out for you the number. 22. 18 was the goal scorer for the Texas young ladies, and her name is Ashley Carter. Ashley Carter on the board as Texas finally dents that scoreboard. And it's a 4-1 soccer match. The girls from the Lone Star State, they are re-energized after trailing by a 4-0 score in the first half. They said we were much better than that, and they launched another shot on goal, this one wide right. And we'll go back the other way. 4-1 the score. Greater Seattle in the 50th minute ahead by 2. 40 minutes remain in this match, the fourth game of the day, at Gillette Field number 1 here in the Showcase Tournament. Again, I'm Alton Brent. You're listening or looking at viewing the Torber Sports Network as they stream all this exciting soccer action to you. Right now, Washington trying to regain the form that carried them to a 4-0 advantage in the first half of play. Washington with the ball near the midline, and the girls from the Seattle area will attempt to get into the scoring zone, but it's intercepted by Texas and re-intercepted by Washington. Hanson sends it downfield with a nice hitter as the ball chased by the Washington team. Washington in white with blue, and the all royal blue being worn by the young ladies out of the state of Texas. 4-1 the score. We're in minute 51 here in the Girls Showcase Tournament at the Gillette Athletic Complex in Wilson, North Carolina. As right now, the Texas girls seem like they are a different club, much more energized as they attack down to our right. Now they send the ball backwards. We're in the 52nd minute here at Gillette. 4-1 score in favor of Greater Seattle. My name is Alton Britt. You're viewing the proceedings on the Torber Sports Network. as I take time to get a piece of a granola bar, as it's been a long day since 10 o'clock this morning, Eastern Standard Time. Texas, bidding for another goal, has it in the offensive zone, but can't get it into the back of the net. We'll give you some more information about the U.S. Youth Soccer National League. You might wonder, what are these girls playing for? The top 4 teams in each National League age group earn an automatic bid to the 2017 U.S. Youth Soccer National Championships, the oldest and most prestigious youth soccer championships in the country. As Washington attacks down to my left, the ball kicked out of bounds. Top finishers in the 15 and under, 16 and under, and 17 and under age groups earn a place in next season's National League. So a lot on the line for these young ladies. We'll tell you the defending champions in the various age groups in just a moment. Right now, Washington's trying to build upon or protect a 4-1 advantage in minute 54 of this soccer match. Hansen with 2 goals sends it down pitch, and the ball contested for at the midfield stripe and knocked out of bounds, last touched by Seattle Washington. Inbounds it comes, Texas with the ball, and Seattle gets it right back. 2 girls run together, fall down, get up just as quickly as Texas now runs the ball down. Texas playing much better, much more aggressive soccer here in the second half than they did the first. Seattle clinging to a 4-1 advantage, however, as it was 4-0 at halftime. The lights are on here at the Gillette Soccer Complex. The baseball complex down to our right, a miniature stadium along with a couple of other Little League baseball diamonds. And the soccer complex, we're at field number 1, of which there are around 10 fields here at the Gillette Athletic Complex. Named for the late Burt Gillette, who was the head of the recreation department for many years here in Wilson before passing away some years ago, laying the groundwork for an outstanding recreation program here in the Wilson area, and a kick downfield by Texas, nowhere near the goal. Again, I want to commend the officials who've done an excellent job in this tournament, and the people in the truck who work for Torbo Sports Network. What a great job they've done in streaming all the action. The audio, of which I've been mainly responsible, certainly not up to the excellence displayed by the folks in that truck behind me. But we've done the best we could, and I hope you have enjoyed it. Right now, the ball being contested by both teams in the middle of the pitch. Downfield it goes, as I tell you what, Seattle has not been close to the goal this half. They scored 4, though, in the first half, as we've got a re-energized Texas Soccer Club. They've got 1 goal cutting into the lead. A frantic scramble in the middle of the field for the soccer ball. Coming away with it, Texas near midline. Texas downfield looking to add to the 1 goal they scored at the 48-minute mark. Right now, we're at the 57-minute mark as the Seattle player hits the turf and bounces right back up, just like a jack-in-the-box. And Seattle now with a free kick from midfield. Seattle sends it goalward, is headed by Hansen toward the goal, but intercepted by the Texans. Seattle gets it right back, down in the left corner deep, and a shot toward the goal, toward the middle of the goal, stolen away. A nice interception by the Texas goalie. No goal for Seattle, although they had an excellent chance at it. In the 57th minute, as Seattle leads it 4-1. Seattle with the ball in the offensive zone again, but stolen away by this re-energized Texas team. Texas, Solar, Chelsea, Bates out of North Texas, Dallas to be specific, down in the soccer match by 4-1 score. We are in the 58th minute of action here in Wilson at the Gillette Athletic Complex. Dallas seemingly is everywhere, and they're doing what the Washington team did in the first half in preventing a whole lot of advances toward that scoring goal box. Right now, Texas down the far left side as 4 more games are waiting to be played tomorrow right here at Gillette, and we'll be on the air at 6 o'clock, or rather 10 o'clock, with the first of those games. What am I talking about, 6 o'clock? Holy mackerel. As 6 o'clock, I'll be snoring away, I reckon. But everybody's in agreement under the scores tent, as I meant the action will go right on up until 6 o'clock, beginning at 10 o'clock in the morning. We're at the 59-minute mark of the soccer match, still 4-1 in favor of Greater Seattle. Greater Seattle led by 4-0 score at halftime. The only score registered by Ashley Carter at the 48-minute mark here in the second half. We're in the 59th minute of a 4-1 Seattle lead in the soccer matchup between these two 17 and under powerhouse soccer teams. The girls playing this weekend in the Showcase Tournament, and the boys' turn will be next week. Excuse me, as some of that granola got caught up in my throat. Good thing I got a nurse, Jacqueline. Natalie, right beside me, though. She tells me to take a swig of my water, and I will. As, again, Texas attacking, and it looks to me like Seattle is more intent at the present time at preventing more damage than they are in registering any more scores. But it could be the reemergence of this energized Texas team. Texas with the only goal of the second half, excuse me, cutting the lead to 4-1. Now another shot toward the goal, and another goal by Texas. As that goal scored in the 60th minute. And the score now 4-2. We'll get the number of that. Number four scored that goal. That's Colleen Anderson. Colleen Anderson, right? Oh, number 4? Number 6. As it's getting dark and rather hard to see here, the goal scored by number 6, Kaylin Wright. Kaylin Wright scores the second North Texas goal of the second half. And all of a sudden, the Seattle Surf lead is cut to 2. No more granola for me. Right now, Seattle down the left side, as that granola stuck in my throat just will not leave me. Hanson and a Texan battle hard as Ace goes up against Hanson. Ace, her real name is Ann Claire Blaylock, will kick the ball out of bounds, and it belongs to Seattle. The ball kicked toward the middle of the pitch. Dallas, we told you they were a rejuvenated ball club. Ace with the ball now in the middle of the pitch. Ball kicked toward the out-of-bounds marker. Saved inbounds. Dallas again. Dallas looking for their third goal of the half. They had a 4-0 deficit at halftime, and the Seattle Surf, they weren't worried at all. But they are worried now as the lead for Seattle cut to 4-2. we're in the 62nd minute of action, meaning there are 28 minutes left in this soccer match. And Dallas right now attacking the goal, and another shot wide left. Dallas will run down the ball, but they give it over to Seattle. Again, the granola getting the better of me in this second half of action. I should have known better, as we are near the end of the day, which began for us at 10 o'clock this morning. This is the fourth soccer game I've called today, the eighth in 2 days, as Seattle now trying to protect that 4-0 lead. And I'm telling you, the Dallas defense has kept Seattle from anywhere near the goal the second half. And Seattle registered 4 first-half goals. Right now, Ace will pass it backwards. Seattle trying to protect that 4-2 lead. Dallas charging hard. Dallas with a goal at the 48-minute mark and one at the 60-minute mark. Carter, along with Wright, scoring goals for the North Texans, and the lead is but 2. It's 4-2 as the ball thrown out of bounds. It'll belong to Texas. And once again, the Seattle Surf nowhere near the goal. The entire second half as I continue to struggle with that granola entwined in somewhere in my throat area. Right now, Ace with the ball passes backwards to North Dallas teammate, and the ball kicked out of bounds by Seattle. Still, it belongs to the Dallas, Texas team, which seems like an entirely new team from the first half of play. And conversely, so does Seattle. Seattle with 4 goals in the first half, and the Seattle Ball Club, they haven't smelled the goal here in the second half, as the play has totally been dominated by the North Texans. Although they dug themselves a big hole in the first half, giving up 4 goals to the Seattle club. Right now, the young lady will seek medical attention, the one I was telling you about earlier on, and that's number 20 for Seattle. And she's not bleeding or anything, limping somewhat. We'll attempt to find out who she is as she goes toward the medical facility here at Gillette Athletic Complex. And now Seattle, as close as they've been to the goal box in a long time, as the player for the Seattle club seeking medical attention. Again, that's number 20, and we searched the roster for number 20 for the Seattle Surf and find out that it's Isabel Kimball, possessing a 3.9 grade point average. Again, these GPAs are just out of sight, and I'm sure they're legitimate, just a bunch of smart girls as well as being excellent soccer players. Seattle led 4-0 in halftime, but in minute 66, Dallas has cut the score down to 4-2. 2 second-half goals scored by the young ladies from North Texas. One by Carter at the 48-minute mark, one by Wright at the 60-minute mark. We had 4 goals by Seattle in first half of play, Wiley, Edwards, and then 2 by Hanson at the 16, 31, 36, and 44-minute marks, a 4-0 lead. But Texas has come out red hot and smoking here in the second half, keeping Seattle, they were as close just a moment ago to that goal as they've been the entire second half, as Texas really mounting a spirited comeback. Texas has cut that lead in minute 67 to 4-2, and now the ball kicked out of bounds across the way. I told you that I would tell you the defending USU Soccer National Champions in the girls division, 16 and under, the Nationals Union 01 Black Michigan team. They were formerly the PSG Michigan Gators. In the 17 and under, It was the Midwest United FC 0-0 Royal out of Michigan. In the 18 and under, the LA Galaxy San Diego Elite 99 Cal South, formerly the Carlsbad Elite 99. And in the 19 to 20 under age group, it was YMS Explosion 98 from Eastern Pennsylvania. They were last year's champions, as right now Dallas thwarts the breakaway situation and a good kick up the right sideline. Driven hard by Ace of Dallas. Ace heads it back the other way. Ace with a headband around her head wearing number 19. Her name for real is Anne Claire Blaylock. She's joined by her friend Wren, Melissa Blanchette. And now we've got a sub getting ready to go into the game for Dallas, and that's number 17. We'll search our roster and find out that's Tara Sumer. Tara getting ready to enter the field of action for the North Texans. Down 4-2, although it's been all Texas here in the second half. But it was all Washington in the first half. Washington mounting a 4-0 halftime advantage. Now, Texas will kick it from the goal area downfield as they continue to try to shorten the score. Down by 2, the ball kicked out of bounds, last touched by Dallas and thrown in by Washington. University of Washington and it's Colorado. Later tonight, 10 o'clock, Eastern Standard Time kickoff on ESPN. That will be preceded by a game between the Ohio University Bobcats and the Broncos of Western Michigan, undefeated, trying to complete an undefeated regular season by winning the MAC championship. And that game will be a 7 o'clock start. Right now, we're at minute 70 of a scheduled 90-minute contest, 17 and under matchup between the Solar Chelsea Bates team from North Texas, Dallas to be exact, against the Greater Seattle Surf out of the Seattle, Washington area. Right now, a big scrum at midfield as this half dominated again by Texas. They've scored 2 goals to none for Washington. That's the good news. The bad news for Texas is that Washington scored 4 goals as 2 young ladies, one for each team, go down to the ground here at Gillette. And we've got a whistle and a foul called by the official in the middle of the field. And it will be a kick out by the team from Texas at the 70-minute mark. 4-2 to score. It was 4-0 in favor of Greater Seattle at halftime. And the ball downfield, going hard for it. Texas will shoot toward their goal back the other way now. Washington with the soccer ball at the 71-minute mark, a 4-2 lead by Washington, which has been blanked here in the second half, just as Texas was blanked in the first half. But Texas has made a rallying cry here in period half number 2. Right now, with the ball, Washington, Hanson will get it, and it's stolen away by the Texans as popped in the mouth was Ace. Ace recovers, though, and shoots the ball downfield, and it'll go toward out of bounds and will be out of bounds. Last touched by the Dallas team at the 71-minute mark. Still 4-2 in favor of Greater Seattle in this 17 and under showcase battle. Right now, Texas attempting to draw to within 1, and boy, that would put some pressure on the Seattle club. Seattle led at one point at halftime by a score of 4-0. Tell you what, the little girl they call Ace has really put some life into this Texas team. Another girl with a white headband kicks the ball downfield for Texas. Texas now in the offensive zone, looking their 3rd goal of the half, running the ball deep on the left side and trying to get it before it goes out of bounds, as it's done. it's out of bounds. Last touch by the Washington team. It'll be Dallas ball at the 72nd minute. As we've got 18 minutes left, Dallas will kick it in from the right corner. Dallas now will shoot it goalward toward the net. Is headed by Washington and out of harm's way. The ball goes. Dallas, though, regains possession as Ace passes it to the center of the pitch. And Dallas with another attempt and a good save by the goalie will keep the score at 4-2 in favor of Greater C. Hanson will be on the near side. She has really played hard all game for Seattle. Hanson will watch it go out of bounds just down to our right in minute 74. And the ball will belong to the Greater Seattle club. Hanson with the ball, trapped on the sidelines, last hit by Hanson, and Ace will play it in for the Texans. With the ball, though, Washington sends it downfield. Hanson had it, back passes the ball, and Washington shoots it downfield. Washington wants to get another goal, and we got a hold on Washington. I don't know if it was called or not, but it was quite obvious that a Washington player held the waist area of a Seattle player. As we've got another substitution getting ready to go in the ball game for Seattle. Henson and Ace run together. Ace goes down but gets up quick. Ace being Ann Claire Blaylock. We were told to call her Ace as well as her friend Wren, whose real name is Melissa Blanchett. Number 23 for Dallas, that's Caitlin Harbin, set to join the action, as number 8 waits to go in for the Seattle team. Number 8 for Seattle, we'll look her up on our roster and find out that number 8 is Haley Huda, Huhta. She's into the match at the 75th minute mark. Right now, 4-2, the score remains. It was 4-0 Seattle at halftime, but goals at the 48-60 minute mark by the North Texans have narrowed the gap down to 4-2. A corner kick attempt by Dallas, no good, as the ball will roll toward the left-hand corner and go out of bounds, and we'll go back the other way with it. Washington in possession. We're in minute 76, 4-2 in favor of Greater Seattle in this 17 and under showcase tournament contest, sponsored by the U.S. Youth Soccer National League. My name's Alton Britt, and you're viewing the proceedings on the Torber Sports Network. As Washington now looks to protect that 2-goal advantage, but Texas, they are a much different club here in the second half. They regain possession. Texas with the ball, passing it in the attack zone. And Texas looking goal number 3. And the ball down the right side will be kicked out of bounds as more subs get set to enter the Texas lineup. 4-2 the score in favor of Greater Seattle as we are in minute 77 of the soccer match. Entering the contest for North Texas. We'll get their numbers in just a moment. Right now, the ball kicked out of bounds, last touched by Washington. And Washington, even though they've enjoyed a lead throughout, they have had the pressure put on them in this second half. Entering the fray for Texas, we've got number 12, Jenna Kirk, and number 22, Riley Andrews. And again, a ponytail falls flat over the number of the third Dallas substitute, while number 17 gets set to check in for the Seattle club. Number 17 in the white jersey. Her name is, we'll wait and see. Look at number 17, and we've not been able to find her yet. I'm sure she's on here somewhere. Right now, though, I'm unable to find her. Right now, we've in the 78th minute of a 4-2 Washington lead. and Edwards. Edwards is getting set to enter the fray for the Seattle club. Edwards wearing number 17. She'll join her teammates in just a moment as we tend to the scoreboard, and Dallas in the defensive zone attempts to get it back upfield where they can narrow the gap even more. They've narrowed a 4-0 Seattle lead down to 4-2. We're in minute 78. Dallas, certainly a much different ball club here in the second half. And for that matter, Seattle, a different club as well, as they are more intent, I think, on defending the ball, keeping it away from Dallas, than they are in scoring their own self. They had 4 goals in the first half, none thus far in the second. We are in minute 79. 11 more minutes remaining in the soccer contest, and to Dallas's credit, after that heart-to-heart talk by the Dallas coaching staff in half number 1, they have come onto the pitch a much different ball club and much more aggressive than they were in the first half, a first half that saw them fall behind the Greater Seattle team by a score of 4-0. Dallas now attempts to get it back upfield, but good defense once again by the Washington Ball Club will prevent that. Washington now at the 79-minute mark will work the ball down the right side. Washington will shoot it goalward, and it picked up by the Dallas goalkeeper. No score, and Ace down the right side will drill it toward the middle, where it's intercepted by Washington. Washington in the middle of the field shoots a pass on the left side, headed toward the out-of-bounds marker, and it will go out of bounds. Saved at the last moment, though, by Washington, right into the legs of a North Texas player. And here comes North Texas back the other way. At the 80-minute mark of this contest, 4-2, Greater Seattle with a 2-goal lead. Seattle, and once again, it looks like to me they've been more interested in protecting that lead than trying to get another goal, as Dallas has whittled away and cut the lead in half. It's 7-2. Still, Seattle leads. Ace with the ball in the middle of the field. Ace down the right side, a lot of speed, stops, good ball action, into the middle it goes on a nice pass, and Dallas will search again for goal number 3 at the 81st minute mark, as we've got two subs getting ready to check into the match for Seattle. And Seattle stops the threat and heads back the other way. Seattle now with Hansen in the left section of the field, works it to the middle, and the ball to Hansen on the left, but Hansen can't get it to it. Can't get to it, and the goalie for Texas does at minute 81. 3 subs getting ready to come in for the North Texans. 2 will check in for Seattle at the appropriate time. Entering the Texas lineup, number 9, Bailey by Lotus. Number 22, that's Riley Andrews. And number 17, Edwards, checks in for Seattle, along with number 4 into the ball game, into the soccer match for Seattle. Number 4 being Francesca Shepard at the 82nd minute mark. A 2-goal lead, 4-2 for Greater Seattle, the Surf, over the North Texans. And North Texas unable to get it into the scoring zone, as once again Seattle will work it goalward, trying to get a clinching goal. And as if they don't already have it, a near handball and a left-footed kick just saved by the goalie for Texas on a brilliant stop. And Seattle held out of the goal area. Good stop by the young lady from North Texas at the 82nd minute mark. And we'll go back upfield where we'll have a kick attempt by Texas way back at the end line at their own goal, as the ball will be kicked across field, run down by Texas's number 16, who has been a real hustler, Madeline Bryant, this half. Not that all the girls have it. Texas frantically late in the match attempting to get goal number 3 on that board. But Seattle with another good defensive play at the 83-minute mark. 4-2, Seattle leads. Seattle led 4-0 at halftime. 2 goals by Texas at 48 and 60 by Carter and Wright respectively have narrowed the gap down to 2 as another sub enters the action for Seattle, that being Madison Hinkle wearing number 6. Seattle with the ball once again trying to protect that 2-goal lead in the 84th minute. Soccer match slated for a 90-minute duration as Seattle now goes backwards in their defensive zone. Seattle will kick it out of bounds, and it will belong to the girls from Texas. Right in front of my position at the midline of the pitch, inbounds it goes. Texas will shoot it downfield, a nice header, another header, and Seattle defensively trying to stop the Texans, who approach the goal from the right side at minute 84. Only 6 or so minutes left in this contest as Texas once again tries to find the answer to the goalie box. They found it twice thus far in the second half, but they are 2 away as they trail 4-2. Now a steal by Edwards of Seattle. Edwards downfield on the right side, and the ball will be run down in the corner by the North Texans in the 84th minute, and the ball goes out of bounds. A flag comes out, and the score remains 4-2 in favor of Greater Seattle. As I'm not sure if a girl fell down when she went down there to get that ball or not, but maybe the ball was just late, and now another person runs down there. Perhaps we've got an injury out of the field of play. Certainly we can't see what's going on down that hill toward the woods, but another ball being thrown into play by the officials. Maybe the ball went deep into the woods, and whomever went to retrieve it didn't want to go into the woods to get that ball. I don't know. Whatever. We've got a stoppage in action as a Texas player now will come out with no balls. Although Texas still trails by a goal as they desperately try to work the ball downfield, and it's kicked toward the Texas goal by Seattle. Texas, though, comes away with it. The clock showing 89-23 as we're near the end of this soccer match. It's been a terrific match, a tale of 2 halves. All Greater Seattle in the first half, all North Texas in the second half. As Greater Seattle has a 4-3 lead with time running out, and we'll get a throw in by the Seattle team from the extreme left corner as the players are bottled up down in the corner, and the clock now winding down toward 90. How much extra we play, I'm not sure. Only the officials know. I do know that we've got a 1-goal lead. A tremendous rally by the North Texans have cut what was a 4-0 Seattle lead down to 4-3. The ball sent toward the goal of Seattle and drilled back, and now a header. Texas still alive, trying to get that ball into the back of the net for a tie. They were seemingly out of it as they trailed at halftime 4-0. The ball worked down the extreme left side, now kicked back upfield. We're told we've got about a minute and a half left to play. Although the scoreboard clock is at 90, of course they take time for injuries and ball retrievals and what have you, as Texas shoots it toward the goal, wide left. Texas had a shot, but a good stop by the Washington goalie, and Washington hangs on. to a 4-3 advantage in what has been a chilly but exciting soccer match on the banks of Lake Wilson here in Wilson, North Carolina. In eastern North Carolina, the game still active, though, not over with, maybe a minute left, as we've got a 4-3 Washington lead. Washington led 4-0 at halftime, but it's been all North Texas here in the second half. And North Texas, with goals by Carter, Wright, and Sumer at the 48, 60, and 88 minute mark, have cut the gap down to 1. Washington leads by a 4-3 score in the waning seconds of the match, and the ball goes out of bounds. Still, they play on, and now they say that's it. That's the end of the match, and won by Washington Greater Seattle Surf 4-3 as Texas battles back from being down 3-0 in a terrific soccer match played here at Gillette Athletic Complex. Goals by Seattle all in the first half at 16, 31, 36, and 44 by respectively Wiley, Kalen Wiley, and Edwards, and 2 by Hanson. Seattle led 4-0 at halftime. Texas, though, with a ferocious rally in the second half, scoring goals at 48, 60, and 88 by Ashley Carter, Kalen Wright, and Sumer, and the final just posted now 4-3 in favor of Greater Seattle. Hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed being with you. My name is Alton Britt. This is the Torber Sports Network. Good night, everybody, from Wilson, North Carolina.